There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.
Good morning and welcome to this Valley News Now weather update brought to you by 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. So here we are talking about that blizzard that we've been warning you about all week, and now we're dealing with it and we're in the midst of it. And it's very tough for a lot of places right now. We're getting reports from several folks up around Grand Forks, northeastern North Dakota, where visibility is down to feet in front of you, and then after that it's whiteout conditions. So there are some road closures. There are some areas where we're talking about conditions that are tough for travel, no travel advised, or the roads are completely closed as it is. So I'm going to bring this up for you full screen and we'll get into it here. So these are just a few of the main roads, but there are more roads closed than this. The main one being Interstate I-29 is closed from Grand Forks to the Canadian border. US 75 closed from Shelley, Minnesota to the border. And in the Minnesota side as well, US 2 from East Grand Forks to Crookston currently closed. So let's take a look at a photo from one of the folks out and about working in this. Our state troopers, highway patrolmen out working, and this was sent to us from the North Dakota Highway Patrol actually posted this, shared the closure area on I-29 around Grand Forks. And if you look closely, this is the gate right here. It's snapped from the wind. So the gate's not able to go across the road like it normally would, indicating the closure. So keep that in mind, that the road is closed. And what we're seeing here in this view is very much a good example of what a lot of folks are seeing as we are trying to travel in the Northern Valley. So again, if you don't have to travel today, now is the time to just stay home, stay put, and stay safe. So look at some of our road conditions here. Anywhere in purple, that deep purple, that's where roads are travel is not advised. Sorry guys, I'm a little distracted by all the things we're looking at here in the updates. So again, we'll just start over, clarify. Purple means travel not advised, and that includes a good portion of North Dakota in our viewing area in the eastern part of the state. And then there are places in Minnesota as well where travel is not advised. In addition to that, we of course have our road closures too in red. So that includes several highways, Highway 75, again from Shelley to the border. It includes Grand Forks, I-29 to the border. It includes several US and state highways as well, 220 in Minnesota, Highway 2 from Crookston to East Grand Forks. And we'll zoom in a little bit more here on some of our highways that are closed. We're looking at, again, 220 that's closed, a section of Highway 1 between Warren and Oslo, and a little farther north here, Highway 11 between Karlstad and the Drayton area on the North Dakota side. And then you can see Hallock to the border, the North Dakota state line. Highway 175 is also closed. So several closures here on our map. And you can access this through our website. I'll show you that here really quickly. We've got several things on our website that you might want to click on and check out to keep up to date. This is the main page. You want to go up to the top, select weather, and here we go, select weather. And you can see that our homepage, we've got our discussion, we've got the video from the Valley today. Of course, right now is our latest update, so this is the best video to be watching at the moment live. But we've got lots of things here, maps that you can click on and check out, latest temperatures, wind gusts going on, the latest radar, all of that you can check right there in our maps page, and that just keeps going. So again, that's a good option. And then, of course, we've got closings and delays and weather alerts at the top of the screen, but you can also access that here on our page, checking out some of our sky cams. Grand Forks, I want to show you this one. This is the view here at UND. There is no view. You can see the weather station on the building, and you can see the cameras there, but beyond that, we're normally able to see the road, and we just can't see anything. That's been ongoing for some time now in Grand Forks, so tough view there. And just looking down toward the southern end of the valley, we've got tough conditions there as well. Blowing snow and issues with visibility in the southern end of the valley. You can see our flags really whipping in the wind, and then beyond that, not much of a view here. And you know, there's some more views to take in if you want. Our tower cam in Fargo will load here shortly, hopefully. If not, I can bring it up in our graphic system. We won't wait on that. But yeah, several cameras to check out around the valley here. And you can also look at cameras, let me go back to our weather page, you can also look at cameras on our road conditions maps as well. A couple more things to note before we get back to road conditions. Lots of closings and delays. I mean, the list just goes and goes and goes and goes. So, you know, if you're wondering if the business here you are planning to go to, hospitals, doctor's offices, and of course schools, we've got some alerts going on there as well. You can head to that page. And then one more thing, power outage map. I did hear a report of some outages in Grand Forks with the wind that was there. Looks like right now at least 0 customers out, but some intermittent outages there. Ransom County, 302 customers out there with the intense winds that we have going on. Let's go back. We'll go to, let's see here. There we go. Okay, back to Minnesota. It looks like Monoman County, 265 customers out. So there's some intermittent power outages happening as well with the wind that we have. Okay, back to road conditions. You can access North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Manitoba road conditions here on this page. So it's a nice kind of one-stop shop. But you can see, you know, this is a different color scheme, but a good view of where travel is not advised anywhere in red. And then, of course, I-29 is in this solid red color here, letting you know that no travel is advised along I-29. Anywhere highlighted in purple, that's where, in the counties themselves, that's where we have the travel alert in effect. And then, of course, snow-covered roads in purple, and there's some icy roads down by the state line, down into near South Dakota as well. And we'll just check on Minnesota too. Again, we've got several highways closed in Minnesota. You can see all of these guys here, these circles indicating road closures. Lots of them that are closed here, again, that we just highlighted just a little bit ago. But checking in on some of our cameras, our DOT cams, I mean, Donaldson, we can barely see the road surface in that zoomed in version. Looking really murky in this area, very tough conditions there. Up toward, let's go along Highway 11 here. Not as bad around Carlstadt, but still seeing some issues. And we'll go a little farther south. And this is between Grand Forks and Crookston. Really not looking great in this view of the road as well. So that's where some trouble's going on here. Let's go a little farther south to the camera. It's labeled as Hallstatt, but you can see it's a little farther east of Hallstatt and Hendrum on Highway 200. This is looking pretty wintry as well, and that would not be fun to drive on either. And then moving farther south, you can see the camera at the way station, near the way station, is looking reduced visibility. We've got some blowing snow across I-94 there. So again, that's Minnesota. We can check in on our plow cameras as well. I'm going to just turn off these so we can see it a little bit better. Maybe. Looks like it's having a little bit of a delayed reaction, but this is the view from one of the plows. This is along Highway 59. You can see the snow on the road. It's likely icy with the flash freeze we had last night as our temperatures dropped. Along Highway 10 here, not looking as bad, but again, conditions are going to get tougher in this area as time goes on. Okay, so let's get back to talking about road conditions here in the valley. Of course, we've got our map behind me here, but I do want to move on and get into what's going on weather-wise. I have more views that I've called up here for you on our sky cams. One that I've been watching all morning is in Pembina. It's just visibility here. There is no visibility. It is completely covered with blowing snow right now. I can see a little bit of the roadway. I'll bring that camera up full screen. Why not? So looking at that full screen view, you can see a little bit of drifting on the road. That's the road right there. otherwise we can't see it at all. Here in the Pembina area, this is Grand Forks, East Grand Forks. This camera gets updated every few seconds, so you'll see the flakes kind of going by, kind of jerky because it's still images, but it gives you an idea of what's going on in town, because this is along the Red River and the Greenway in East Grand Forks. Normally we can see across the river, can't really see anything at this point in time. So visibility limited to 100, 200 feet. We were reported to from the National Weather Service office, they were saying that, so much lower visibility in Grand Forks than what you see behind me in Fargo. The snow has been struggling to get started here to move into the FM area. You can see our cameras shaking quite a bit. And we are getting some snow and some blowing snow. It's not nice out there. It is much worse though in the areas where the snow is coming down though. So this is something we expect to see, you know, the view, we expect it to worsen over time as we continue on through the morning and into the afternoon. And I did have our camera in Moorhead and Maine pulled up because I wanted to show you the intersections with the blowing snow, how it's no longer clear. I showed this yesterday through the morning, and sometimes it takes these cameras, these specific ones, a minute to show up. There it is. And so you can see there's the Moorhead Dairy Queen right there. And yesterday, the whole road surface was free and clear of snow. So even though it hasn't been snowing a lot, we're still getting some snow on the road, so that means slick intersections, slick roadways in town as well. So even though, again, it's not looking like Grand Forks, it isn't perfect out there in the Fargo-Moorhead area either. So again, keeping an eye on those road conditions throughout the morning here. And so taking a look at our visibility reports, it really has come down in the valley, and it's north to south at this point. You can see Fergus Falls reporting 0 visibility, and the northern valley, it's been like this all morning long. Started the valley today at 4:30. We had some areas reporting 0 visibility, and those same areas have been stuck at 0 for hours. What time is it? It's getting close to the 11 o'clock hours, so it's been a good 6 hours or so at least that we've been in that blizzard in the northern valley. Grand Forks visibility down to 1/10 of a mile at the airport, and checking out Fargo, we're at 2.5 miles visibility. So again, this is valley-wide now that we are dealing with the blowing snow, whether it's falling or getting picked up and blown. Now, wind. This has been obviously the biggest factor here, and adding snow to the mix leads to more problems as well. But you can see Grand Forks still reporting gusts above 60 miles per hour, 61 mile per hour gust in Grand Forks. Fargo, our current gust 55 miles per hour. Wind is out of the north at 41. That's our sustained wind, the near constant wind. Not including the gust. That's intense, so that just continues to blow. And check out Oaks, a steady or sustained wind of 47 miles per hour with gusts of 55 there. Jamestown also reporting gusts into the 50s. And Fergus Falls not too far behind at 47 miles per hour. So again, continuing to see these intense winds as we're making our way toward midday. And taking a look at some of our gusts that have been reported so far, the highest gust I've seen in the region is out toward the Henninger County area, a report of 90 mile per hour gust. That's strong. And then Rolette County, we had an 80 mile per hour gust in the county here today, and so that's more toward our viewing area. Grand Forks, peak gust so far 64. Fargo, a peak gust of 61 miles per hour, and Grafton checking in at 60 mile per hour gust here this morning. So again, we've seen places exceed 60, some places even higher than that. And just looking at our map here, you can see those numbers. Actually, I should have updated Grafton. We just got a new update there. We saw a gust of 62 in Grafton now. So seeing the wind pick up there as well. So this continues to be a really big factor, but you can see a lot of places have had that 50 plus range. And even over toward Fergus Falls, we did get a gust of 55 miles per hour so far today. And so, you know, the wind, the snow, huge factors. They may send you off the roadway if you travel. So again, I want to avoid traveling if you can here today. And then once you get yourself into trouble, hopefully that doesn't happen, but if you do, this is what you're dealing with. Temperatures that are dropping, and we've got some numbers below 0 now. Devil's Lake, Langdon below 0, Fargo's at 5, it's 3 in Grand Forks. And with the intense wind that we've got going on, of course, you can imagine the wind chills are down into the 20s and 30s below this morning. So that's going to be dangerous to get caught out in. And, you know, just a reminder that you don't want to be out walking looking for help if you get into trouble on the side of the road, because you can get disoriented out in blizzard conditions very easily and get lost. So something to, again, keep in mind as you're planning your day today. And now we're looking at the radar. It took me a minute to get there, but there's just been so much to go over. But you can see This storm system, it continues to just kind of rotate the snow around the low, continues to rotate its way through as the low continues to make its way through the valley. So Northern Valley looking pretty tough. We're starting to see some clearing by Devil's Lake, so I'm hoping that we're getting some improvement there. Of course, the wind is still going to blow the snow that fell around, so that's still a problem, but the falling snow is winding down. Meanwhile, it's ramping up for places in the south and east where it's been a little bit quieter snow-wise here today. So let's take a look at a closer view. Grand Forks still in the midst of things. We just saw that sky cam in the Grand Forks UND sky cam there, and visibility was very low. Looks like we've got a band of very heavy snow right now, Crookston up through Thief River Falls. That's moving to the east. A couple of other pockets in deeper blue where we've got some heavier snow going on. That continues to drop to the south and east as well. And this band also stretches down now into Trail County as well. Let's go a little farther south. A heavier pocket of snow moving through around Castleton, maybe the Arthur area. This is heading eastward, and looks like we're starting to see snow pick up heading toward the Fargo-Moorhead area at this time. And this will continue to advance into west central Minnesota. And a little farther south from there, if you're traveling down into South Dakota, we continue to see snow in this area too, starting to move through into west central Minnesota. So heading through the morning hours and into the afternoon, we're watching that snow move eastward in our hour-by-hour planner. By the time we get into the lunch hour, we've got some snow that's, again, tapering off to the west, but ramping up for those of us in the east into Lakes Country, and temperatures that are dropping. For Fargo, it might only be a couple of hours that we see blizzard conditions because the snow has been slower to move into the FM area, but there will be a time where it gets tougher to be out and about in this weather. And of course, out in open country, it's even tougher with the blowing snow that's going on too. And by the time we get into the 4 o'clock hour, the snow's still falling over to eastern parts of our viewing area, places like Adet, Bemidji, Park Rapids, Wadena, still getting the snow. And it is ending over to the west, but check out this wind. This is for Fargo, and you can see winds still gusting into the 50s at that point. So we're still dealing with blowing and drifting snow even after the snowfall, again, has ended in the valley. And that's going to last for a few more hours after the snow ends. So by 8 o'clock, we are below zero temperature-wise throughout much of the valley, and we're still seeing winds gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour in some areas. And we'll show you a wind map in just a moment. It does start to come down more, and by the time we get into the overnight hours tonight, those gusts go away. We get a little bit of a break before the next round approaches for Friday. Yes, we've got another system for Friday. You can see some hints of that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And temperatures will be below zero, some of us in the double digits. So snowfall totals, it's going to be nearly impossible to measure this because of the blowing and drifting going on. But in general, we're looking at areas, by the time this is all said and done, in that 3+ range in the Northern Valley possible. There'll be some pockets along the border, 6+. And then in the Southern Valley, a lot of areas 1 to 3 inches, but there will also be some pockets that don't see as much. Places that haven't had a lot of snow yet today and may only get an hour or two of it as this system sweeps its way through. But still, snowfall possible for everybody here in the valley. And let's talk wind now. So we've been watching those wind gusts being intense this morning. They will continue to be in that range. It's not really until we get into drive time this evening and beyond. This is specific to Fargo that we'll see those numbers start to come down. But even 40 is still strong. I mean, definition of a blizzard is to have wind gusts 35+ miles per hour, and we'll be above that still. So still looking, you have to have other things too, low visibility, and it has to last for 3 hours. But that's one of the parameters for a blizzard warning. And so looking at our wind gust planner, we're going to keep these gusts around for a while. So this is starting at 11 o'clock this morning with gusts here in the 50s and 40s for a lot of places. And working our way into the afternoon, we'll keep gusting into the 50s, and again, topping 60 miles per hour perhaps in spots. And then moving on into the later afternoon. At this point, this is about 4:30. We just showed you our surface map of the future snow moving out of here for a lot of places at that point, but you can see those gusts are still 40s and 50s, so that's still a problem. And that continues into this evening. This is getting closer to 9 o'clock tonight. The wind's starting to come down, and again, it eases up as we head into the overnight hours. We're looking at gusts more into the 20s. In some areas, it's completely quiet or quieting down over toward Devil's Lake by the time we get closer to the 11 o'clock hour tonight. It's about 12 hours from now. So that's the wind. It picks back up again tomorrow out west as this next system moves in. And just some reminders here about winter travel safety. Again, today is a day to avoid travel. You know, we're hearing from Highway Patrol saying don't go out, stay home, and you know they're experiencing some tough conditions out there while they're trying to keep everybody safe. And so, you know, you don't want to be a problem for them, but also for yourself. You don't want to get caught out there. So, a good day to just consider, you know, rescheduling whatever it is you had to go out for here today, especially if it's driving out beyond town, out into open country. That's going to be really tough for travel, if not, you know, dangerous, life-threatening kind of travel here. And if you must, for whatever reason, make sure that you share your travel plans with somebody so they know the route you're taking and that they know what time you plan to get to your destination. That way, if you don't make it there, folks can head out and look for you when it's safe to do so. Make sure you've got a full gas tank, you know, your charged phone, your survival kit in your car with you. Again, something we always recommend during the winter time. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but stay with your car if you do become stranded. This is the time where you do not want to be out trying to find help because you won't be able to see in front of you. We have those reports coming in from Highway Patrol that they couldn't see much than a few feet in front of them. And so it's easy to get lost in the midst of a blizzard like that. And stay informed. You can stay informed with us right here at Valley News Live, the VNL weather app. But any way that you can, of course, is important. Make sure you're checking road conditions because we continue to get closures coming in here this morning, and we continue to hear new reports of issues with, you know, power outages here and there, or high wind gusts coming our way, or you can check on the radar to see if there's a heavier snow line moving toward you. So really important to stay informed during this time. And again, if you don't have to travel, just don't. Keep yourself safe here today. Okay, so let's talk really quick about what to expect as we head through the weekend and into the holiday week next week. We've got our first alert weather day today. We've been first alerting you to this blizzard for a while now. But we've also been talking about Friday, that chance for some snow. I'm not looking at a lot, but, you know, 1 to 2 to 3 inches of snow possible on top of what we've already had. And we introduced some wind to the mix, could have some blowing snow again tomorrow. And tomorrow's a Friday before the weekend before Christmas. So I know a lot of people hitting the road for whatever reason, heading out to holiday events, maybe you're doing some shopping, that kind of thing. So keep in mind Friday could be tough too. And we're starting off below 0, in the teens below for a lot of us. And then moving into the afternoon, we warm up with this system moving by. It kind of draws in that warmer air for a short period. And then we're right back down again, heading into Saturday. We'll see temperatures sliding through the day. But here's the thing to note. You see that sun there? That's going to continue into Sunday as well. We're looking at sunny skies for both days, meaning we're not dealing with the falling snow and we're not dealing with conditions that are as tough as what we've got going today, and even watching out for that tomorrow. Sunday, a reminder, here's some good news. It's not all gloom and doom. On Sunday, it's the winter solstice. It'll be the shortest daylight hours of the year, but that's where we are looking at the shortest day, and then we can put it behind us, and then we're gaining daylight from that point on. So starting to see more sun as we head into Christmas week. And speaking of, temperatures will be teens to some 20s for Christmas Day. We're looking at 28 degrees for your high. A couple of shots of snow possible, but it's not looking like this week, not looking as intense as this week. So again, just checking in on our cameras. I want to show you the camera here in Fargo really quick. I'm noticing a difference between when we started this update and now. You can see that visibility is really starting to drop as snow is moving in, and we've got on our camera as well the shaking going on with the wind too. So again, this is in Fargo in town, so starting to see conditions get tougher here. And oh my goodness, I went to check my let's see here. Bear with me. Hopefully you can hear me better now. Had a little bit of a mic issue going on there. I can't believe I went through that whole segment without you being able to hear me very well. Sorry for that low volume. Hopefully you were able to hear me a little bit better at this point. Again, I'll just go over a couple of things here, and hopefully we'll be able to just kind of get the basics across to you if you weren't able to hear what I was saying earlier on. So, we're looking at visibility that's now dropping in Fargo. Usually we can see downtown. We can't see it anymore. There's some snow moving in at this point into the Fargo-Moorhead area. And we have had, of course, issues with visibility for a lot of other places here as we've been going through time. So it's been tough. A reminder, road closures, we're looking at, I'll pull this up again, road closures, Grand Forks to the Canadian border, Highway 75, Shelley, Minnesota to the border, Highway 2 from East Grand Forks to Crookston in Minnesota. These are our U.S. highways and our interstate, one interstate that's being impacted right now in the valley. Those are where we have road closures at this point in time. But there are more areas with road closures as well. This was that picture I was describing to you from the North Dakota Highway Patrol that showed the gate actually broken, bent here from the wind. This usually goes across the road to let you know that the road is closed, but the wind took it. And looking at the visibility that is on the very low side, that's an example of what you may see when you head out the door and hit the road. So want to avoid that if possible today. Again, road conditions. Any area in purple, travel is not advised. So that includes the northeastern part of North Dakota. That includes Grand Forks. That includes Crookston area, Highway 75, again, Shelley to the state line, anywhere in red here, no travel. The roads are closed, essentially. So a lot of highways where that is included. And you could always check for these right on the Valley News Live weather app or on our website that I just showed you just a few minutes ago as we were going through our reports. And here's the view in Pembina. It actually got better since I just showed you that. That's good to see. But it is still snowing there. View in East Grand Forks and Grand Forks. This is actually worsened, it looks like, since the last update. And again, Fargo, it's worsening in Fargo right now. We're going to zip through this because we did just go over this, and I apologize for my mic being so low. Moorhead, again, I was showing this to you because this is where we've had areas of snow getting back onto the roadways. So an example of an intersection here in the FM area showing some snow. And visibility now down to less than a mile. So that's a new update for Fargo. Moorhead, we're looking at visibility dropping with the snow moving in. And more places that are close to zero or at a quarter-mile visibility or less. In fact, most of eastern North Dakota is in that range. Everywhere except for Fargo and Harvey is reporting quarter-mile visibility or less. In North Dakota, that is. Okay, here's a look at our wind. It's once again gusting into the 50s and 60s. Oh my goodness, we've got a gust now in Grand Forks to 67 miles per hour. That's intense. We are looking at some intense wind gusts here. That's the highest that Grand Forks has reported so far. Fargo's at 56. We did have a 61 mile per hour wind gust in Fargo earlier. And looking at, and a reminder, 60 miles per hour, that would classify a thunderstorm as a severe thunderstorm. So that gives you an idea of how destructive these kind of winds can be. Hettinger earlier today, Hettinger County, there was a report of 90 mile per hour gusts. The Rolette County area, an 80 mile per hour gust. And Grand Forks, this is old now. We had a 67 mile per hour gust just a couple of moments ago being currently reported. So we are looking at some intense winds here as we look at our gusts so far. Again, 67 in Grand Forks, 62 in Grafton, 61 in Fargo. And checking out your temperatures, we're looking at those being into the below zero range in Langdon and in Devil's Lake. Fargo's at 5, it's 0 in Grand Forks, so we're dropping below 0 now. And these dropped like a rock last night and this morning after the front moved through. And so we're talking about flash freeze happening after we saw the rain from last night. Any wet spots on the roads froze over. So a coating of ice, and then on top of that, the snow. Now, here's a look at the radar. You can see the system working its way through the valley, and it's now dropping into the southern valley. And as we speak, Fargo is seeing that snow move through. And we'll zoom in again on some of these areas here in the Northern Valley. There's a band that is stronger here. Thief River Falls, back down through what is now moving into parts of northern Cass County. And then another band that's a little bit heavier as well in this deeper blue color showing up there too. Starting to quiet down in Devil's Lake as far as falling snow, still some blowing snow. And here's the band moving through the FM area right now, so seeing that bring us a chance for some heavier snow. Farther south, snow moving through eastern parts of South Dakota too. So hour by hour planner, you can see the snow continues to work its way through. This is the lunch hour, and then moving on into the afternoon, it starts to clear off to the east with some areas still getting some snow in the 4 o'clock hour, but a lot of it's done at that point. But the problem is we've got the wind. We're looking at wind still gusting 40s and 50s, and so there's still blowing snow. It's cold air rushing in, and temperatures dropping below zero throughout the valley by the time we get into the 8 o'clock hour. The snow is gone by then, but we're seeing that wind still on that stronger side. They're still blowing and drifting. Really isn't until we get into the late night hours tonight that we see that snow end. So snowfall potential, this is total snow, so it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to measure because we've got drifting going on and blowing snow. But heavier amounts to the north, lesser amounts to the south. Drifts on roads are going to be taller than this, of course, in those areas that see the drifting. And, you know, really it's the visibility and the wind. That's going to be the biggest factor. Fargo, we've seen our wind strong throughout the morning, and it will continue heading into the 50s to near 60 miles per hour through the afternoon. We really only see it coming down as we get into the evening. And just showing you that on our wind gust planner here, these numbers are your wind gusts, 50, 60 plus miles per hour through the afternoon. And once we get into tonight, this is close to 9 p.m., we're looking at those gusts coming down to the 20s and 30s at that point, and then it continues to drop from there. So again, just a reminder, winter travel safety. Stay home if you can. I know we have things we got to do. Some of us have to go to work. I had to drive into work today. But if you can avoid driving out in open country, that is, you know, definitely something to avoid doing. And you know, it's in town, it's still going to be pretty tough in a lot of areas. Again, in town, we've had reports of visibility down to 100 feet or less. So if you can stay home, do so. If you must travel, make sure you share your travel plans when you expect to get to where you need to be and the route that you're taking. And have that full gas tank, the charged phone, the survival kit, and stay with your car if you're stranded. This is more important than ever during the winter time when we're in a blizzard, because you can't see anything. And so if you start walking down the road looking for help, you could get disoriented very easily and end up lost in temperatures that are dropping below zero and wind chills that are even lower than that. So just don't leave your car while we're dealing with this here. We'll see improvement as we head into tonight, and hopefully in the meantime someone will come along and help you out. And stay informed, of course, before you head out the door for anything. And again, looking at conditions that are going to be on that tough side through the course of the afternoon. Okay, so another quick look at your 11-day planner. Looking at, again, another system for Friday that we'll talk more about throughout the day and into tomorrow as well. But just keep in mind there's going to be more wind, so it means more blowing snow and a few, maybe 1 to 3 inches of falling snow. And then heading into the weekend, just cold. You'll be able to get around, though. Just be careful of icy, snowy patches from this recent round of snow. And then for Christmas week, milder, and we're looking at not as warm as we were the last couple of days, but just kind of keeping things steady in the 20s for most days. And a couple of shots of light snow, but no major systems, it looks like right now. So that's it. That's what we're looking at here. It's definitely looking very blustery in Fargo at this point in time. Our visibility continues to drop, as you see there on our sky cam, and that's something that we'll have to be watching for as we continue on into midday for today. That's going to be the issue for anybody heading out. The door here this morning is seeing that visibility come down. And so Fargo Moorhead, seeing this starting to move through. Places like Lakes Country, you'll see your visibility drop too. There are some places already dealing with that. And this is going to last through the afternoon. So stay put and stay safe here for today. I will continue to keep you up to date. We've got Valley News Live at noon coming up here in a little under an hour. Chief Meteorologist Russ Thomas will be on with updates at noon. And then, of course, throughout the afternoon, we'll have another update right here on Valley News Now. And we'll continue to bring you updates throughout the day and nighttime hours tonight. And again, of course, you can always check the VNN weather app for the latest. In the meantime, have a good Thursday if you can. And stay safe as we're dealing with, yet again, another blizzard here in the valley as we continue to work our way through December. So we'll continue to keep you posted, and we'll talk again soon.
Full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.